So are you returning to work after being off for a certain period of time? It may have been several weeks, it may have been several months, it may have been longer than that. It will bring in different feelings of potential anxiety, maybe a bit of excitement, maybe nervousness. If you're returning to the same place, you might be worried that things have passed you by and that you are not up to date with what's going on. You might feel anxious about if work has piled up, and you're not going to be able to cope with it when you get back. You might get some sort of imposter syndrome where you go, I can't remember how I actually did my job in totality. I don't know how to deal with anybody, how to deal with things. You might just start to get some sort of anxiety because you will have shifted into a slower pace of life. If you've been off poorly, been off with maternity leave, whichever reason you've been off for, you will have shifted into that life rather than the corporate life or the working life. So what can you do? Well, certainly speak to your HR department first, because you don't have to go back at full time straight away. You can take little steps, and that is highly recommended, so to help you adjust gently back into being at work. You could request to work from home initially so that you're getting on top of the work and starting to have a look at what's going on. So just make sure that you take the time to take it easy a little bit. And what you can do is you can swap what is in your mind, the panic of maybe not being up to speed enough and not being able to deal with everything enough. You can swap that for something where you do feel confident, where you do feel competent to deal with it. So just think of, find a memory of a time where you've been really, really on it, and you've owned it, and you felt really confident, and every time the worry starts to pop into your mind, just go into that space and you can create an anchor. So if you get that feeling of how competent and confident you were, as you're in that energy, choose a knuckle on your finger and you can press on it as you're in the full strength of that great energy of how you'd really got it, and press on it. And then as it's wearing away, you let go of that. Keep doing that and build it up. And this creates an emotional anchor. So it's a bit like Pavlov's dogs, where if when Pavlov rang a bell, the dogs would get that instant, we're going to get fed, and the excitement, and biologically, physiologically, they'd react. They'd start getting saliva in their mouths and things like that. By doing this exercise, it will put you back into a positive state. So when you're actually in the state when you're going back to work, or if you're feeling anxious just before it, or when you're in it, if you've built this up enough, so before you go back, I'd try and do it at least once a day, if not a couple of times a day, but make sure you're really, really in that super duper fantastic energy of I have got this, I can do this, I'm totally on top of things, I'm full of self-confidence and full of self-empowerment. And then in that feeling that's really strong, press on the same place so that you're reenacting it. And then when you've done that, lots of times, maybe do it, if you can do it twice a day for 5 days, that will properly nicely get it really strongly in there. And then every time you're starting to have a bit of a wobble about work, you can press it and it'll fill your body full of all that positive energy again. And then when you get time, just think about it, still keep reinforcing that with the really, really, really great energy, and it will act as a little button for you to feel great. It will release, you know, the positive feelings that go with that confidence, that energy. So utilise that, because it's really, really good and it'll help you. It's just one little tip to help you when you're going back to work. If you need any more support, my name's Suzanne. I am a life coach. I would love to work with you. Just feel free to pop on to www.valerianbaycoaching.com. Go on the Get in Touch page, fill in the form, and we can have a chat about how I can support you in your journey. Wishing you lots of luck. Thank you for watching. Take care. Goodbye.